have to record the meeting because technically our meetings are open to the public. And so this meeting's going to be posted on the city website, just so you're aware of that.
Okay.
So it's good to see everyone.
Oh, yeah. Been a long time.
I know. So, yeah, let's just start. Well, I know you have to leave early, Judith. So I just wanted to say, you know, thank you so much for all your contributions to the board. I know your term expires next month. So I think we talked about that via email, but yeah, so I just
But it doesn't sound right because I think it was last year that, unless time has passed a lot faster.
I'll double check. I'll double check
it's
if it's 2021 or 2022 because I could be wrong.
Okay, I think it's one more year because it's a 2-year thing, right?
Yeah. All right, yeah,
Okay.
I'll double check. I could be totally wrong. Maybe it's just Pat.
Okay.
All right,
We'll
cool.
give somebody else a chance either way.
Well, if it's not up, then we want you for another year.
Okay. No, I mean, when the term expires.
Right. Cool.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll just start with some quick updates from us. We had our new staff member, Justin Ziegler. He started in October. It's been a really, really great addition to our team. He has already launched so many groups and programs and gotten people engaged and involved. He's really just starting to get the hang of the JRB because we've had very little referrals. We had one in like the past 3 months. So arrests are down because of schools not being in session. So still working on getting him completely on board with that. So right now it's just me, him, and Ray Allen. So we're small little team. Tiana got a job in Boston with Boston DCF, so she moved to Boston.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's doing really well. And then Leanne is actually retiring July 1st. So she was supposed to retire last July, but she stayed on board. So, and then if people don't know, I am with child. Such an old term.
Wow.
So I'll be out hopefully like April, May, and June. So we'll figure out the meetings then. But yeah, it's kind of exciting. Well, it is exciting. So yeah, so that's like staffing stuff. And then I just to highlight a couple programs. Right now we have programs going on in all grades, elementary, middle, high school. Really excited because Project Outreach, the NFA football team, and us collaborated to start a mentoring program. They're going to be able to mentor about 40 kids. So that's getting off the ground. That's super exciting. We have a Ty Sells presentation tomorrow for youth. He's a well-known from Youth to Youth International. He talks to kids about substance use but more so about the pressures around substance use. So he's not like a big data and this is why you shouldn't use kind of person. He gets really to the underlying issues of like, kids are using because they think it's cool, because that stress, they have a lot of stress, and how can they kind of get more comfortable in who they are as a person so they're not as tempted to just do what they think other kids are doing and things like that. So we put out a recording that he did a video, and then tomorrow he'll do a virtual meeting with kids. And Sachem and I think Norwich Tech is offering extra credit for kids to come. So we have some kids too, I think from NFA Prevention Council who are definitely coming, but it's open to any teenagers to come. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout. And then we have joining forces going on. So we have 4 police officers and 4 or 5 kids right now, and they're working on an anti-vaping campaign. So everything's virtual right now. And we are applying for our Summer Jam and Learn grant. So hopefully we'll actually be able to do that program this summer. But those are just, you guys obviously get all my emails.
Yeah. What kind of attendance do you have on the Zoom version of your groups?
It varies. It really depends. So we're doing a lot of groups through the school that are in collaboration with them. So those groups get more attendance because they have the school staff on board helping them get on. So those groups get higher attendance. We had a Voices and Council group that was like only 3-4 kids that was after school. So that was really them getting on their own and, parents helping them get on. So the night kind of more independent groups are lower attendance, but the school-based ones are full. So
Well, that's
cool.
good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because
thankfully,
I'm finding the kids are so zoomed out that it's a little hard for them to do an elective on the computer because they've done enough computer and they're just not attracted to coming back on screen.
yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I
Yeah.
have my limits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it varies. So thankfully we've had, at first, schools were figuring everything out, so it was a little more difficult to get groups started like we used to do, but now they're up and running, so that's cool. So yeah, who wants to go next?
Well, as I say, I've been struggling with my little junior youth group, just getting everybody to meet. We want them to come together regularly, and the focus is on spiritual empowerment. So it's knowing that you're a powerful person. The human being is constructed to be powerful, and drawing on those powers and understanding them. We do it, through, we have a series that we read through and discuss. We pick a hero or shero for each meeting and look at what they're doing. I pick a YouTube. They pick a YouTube. And we'll always try to think in terms of, okay, how can this translate into action? How can it translate into service? So, but it's a very tiny group and we're trying to build it.
How often do you meet and what are the ages?
Weekly.
Okay.
And so for an hour, and the ages are 11 to 15.
Okay. And
anyone, yes, anyone is welcome to come on. I like to talk to parents so that they understand what their kids are doing and are on board with it.
Okay, so if you had kids interested, we could just connect the parent with you to get started.
Yes, yeah, my email would be fine.
Okay, cool.
I can go next. So
Whoop, you froze.
we're up and running full time.
Okay.
It has been a long time. We were out of Middletown for 4 or 5 months, and I would say we've been open probably full time 3 months, 4 months maybe. We only are having one delinquency day at this time because they are trying to do some trials that from child protection and trying to catch up on that end. Caseloads have started to go back up. It was obviously lower over the summer because arrests weren't being made due to COVID, unless there was a seriousness and needed to be addressed right away. So our caseloads have gone back up. We are back in the field. We are meeting with families. We're making referrals. There is a lot of obstacles with COVID right now, with treatment, therapists going in the home. Once again, kids are tired of going on video conference. They have to do it for school. They have to do it for other things. And then when they have to meet with a therapist, that becomes a struggle just to get them to join for half an hour. But they are working hard, our providers. We are moving slow in court because of COVID again, getting people in. The exposure stops them. If there's been any exposure, we have to stop them from coming for 2 weeks. We are trying to open it up so that we could do some Microsoft Teams, so that they could join maybe for a plea on Microsoft Teams from their home. We just have to work out some of the issues of confidentiality. You know, we don't want a kid sitting at home discussing issues or concerns in a courtroom, and maybe the mom has a friend over in the background. You know, that there really needs to be that ability for a child to be able to discuss, or a parent discuss, concerns without having other people around, and making sure that they understand that. So we're trying to work that out. You know, we no longer, I know we've discussed this, we no longer take poisons. I don't know that anything else has changed since the last 8 months I've seen you guys. A lot has changed, but not maybe for us.
And to that, we're now the hub for the FWISN referrals. So, and we've gotten 2 since that's happened, 2 beyond controls, which really have just come informally with parents calling. I haven't, I talked to the state and, you know, do I have to have them fill out all the paperwork if they just reach out to me, which they said no, as long as I gather all the information that they bring. So I've referred both of those families out to services. One that I think many people on this call has probably been involved with and really didn't want to take advantage of any of the services. You know, we get those families who just kind of want you to fix it somehow miraculously without the parents engaging in anything. But one we hooked up with, I can't remember if it's MDFT or MST, and they're doing really well. So it's been
Nice.
quiet, but we did, we gave a bunch of goodie bags to the police department, which Steve didn't get one, but hopefully everyone else did. And we put a little card that explained the FWISN and our business cards, so the officers would have them when they were out on calls. And then me and Steve did one on the JRB, but then I did one too on the FWISN for training. So when officers start, it's a video training that they'll get on how to do the FWISN referrals. So
We've gotten a few calls too from parents from different towns, but I know we've gotten a few from Norwich, and we give them the information to make their way to you. And I don't believe they ever really do, though.
right.
But we will keep pushing them.
Yeah. They kind of want the probation and the
Yes. Yep.
Kevin, you were nodding and stuff.
Oh, I'm surprised that number is so low, to be honest with you. So, but I guess it's just a matter of getting the word out and transitioning from probation to you guys. But I think that number will go up, I'm sure. I'll give you a quick update. I mean, from our end, we're still way more virtual, it sounds, than probation, especially on the foster care end. We had a real hard pause for 6 months or so we could develop the new virtual foster parent training. So we really had to shift. And so that's been developed in Norwich, and actually New London County. We started doing our trainings in September. And so we've had about 5 classes now. Statewide, not as quick a rollout, but we're doing pretty well in our area. And the number of people interested actually in fostering at this point has really gone up. So that's surprised us. But it's been nice because the number of homes we have available currently is so low. The number of people willing to take kids in, it seems almost every call we make now is really, I mean, 90% of the calls are COVID exposed or COVID positive kids. So just imagine receiving that phone call. So we have just a handful of homes statewide that are willing to take kids in. So, but we do have people willing to be trained and licensed. So that's a positive. So we're up and running with that. Most of our contacts with families, especially the foster families, it's still virtual. On the CPS end, I know that depending on the severity of the call, we'll go out, we'll obviously be in the home and make contact that way, but still pretty slow moving for us. That's about it.
Thanks. Are you guys, do you know, I'm sorry, Jody, do you know if you're like on your end, I don't know if you know, but what the truancy referrals are looking like for you guys?
I've not heard. I
Okay.
really don't see that on my end, so.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And you have a new office director, right?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be with us. He was with us for the majority of his career, Dave Silva. And so people are pretty excited about having Dave come back. And so, yeah, so is he.
Good. Go ahead, Jody. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Just to update, it's been a struggle, having to revamp my whole program to more virtual. And like Judith said, once kids are off for school, it's hard to re-engage them after school for things. I'm very lucky and very blessed that I do have a core group of students that are still, trying to participate and lead. And so, I'll take what I can get. Would love for more. It's also been a struggle trying to reach out to students, getting the word out about things that we're doing, but we're working on that as well. And because I don't have the ability to call students in, even when they're in the hybrid model, it's harder to call students in just because, they're in class. We also have the new graduation requirements for our students. So a lot of the students are not in study halls anymore. They have to take more classes. So in order to graduate, so the amount of students that are in study halls that I can pull from but we're making it work. We've done some, community collaborations. Aaron talked about the mentoring program that's coming up, and hopefully that'll be successful. We're also, working on, the NFA Prevention Council is still working on some things with Ray Allen. We actually had a really positive and productive meeting last week where the kids were given tasks to complete, and it looks like we're going to have 3 projects finished by the end of February. So we're pretty excited about that. And we're just, trying to come up with ways for kids to volunteer because they can't volunteer in the community, which is really hard. So like normally I would send kids to, nursing homes, or we'd be going to residential programs and we'd be doing events out in the community and volunteering for, events through Grove City or different, walkathons and that type of thing. And unfortunately, we're unable to do that. So just trying to come up with alternative things for our students. And the kids have come up with some great ideas. We were trying to revamp our Reading Buddies program so that it's a virtual Reading Buddies program. But it's still difficult. And I'm hoping that it ends soon. But we're also looking forward. I know Aaron and I have talked about doing something for Suicide Prevention Week this year. And, both in school and in the community, even if it has to be a virtual walk, but definitely trying to continue that throughout the year. We made an effort to continue last year. It was a struggle because we weren't even really set up for virtual, but we did manage to get a couple things done. But this year, our hope is to get a few more things completed for that.
Cool. Thank you.
I wonder if they need more volunteers for the community, the weekly community meals on Sunday. Have you been in touch with that group?
The only issue is confidentiality. And so there's something about, well, I think they have to be 18 and older.
Okay. Boy,
and that's what we're running into as well. A lot of, so like when I went to school here, for instance, a lot of the volunteer activities that we did, they accepted students around, 15 and 16 years old. And a lot of agencies have gone to 18 and older for liability, especially in this COVID environment, kids getting sick, that type of thing. So, and I also have, unfortunately, NFA has put in some policies and procedures for the COVID issue. So like I can't have kids volunteering for an event that are in different cohorts. So like, for instance, we did a food drive, a drive-up food drive, and I had to schedule, like the first hour was cohort A, the second hour was cohort B. I couldn't have them intermingling. So it's, yeah, we're running into.
Okay, yeah.
I do know we're partnering to do those food drives that are happening at Foxwoods every Monday. And, they need volunteers. Leanne was saying she needs 20 volunteers a week, but they have to be 18 or over.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And
college age.
Right. And another thing Jody is working on, you just made me think of it, is the Teen Leadership Council group finished, and they're working on to go ahead, you talk about it. You're gonna say it more eloquently.
So the teen leadership group, we actually met in person, which was awesome before we got shut down. They picked homelessness as their topic for the leadership program. And so they are going on February 13th. They're still working on a flyer. They're going to be doing a drive up donation drive. So they'll be accepting hygiene products, gently or new blankets, gently used or new blankets, sleeping bags, tents, and then crackers and like snack items. And they're going to put together bags for the homeless members of our community. They've learned a lot. Originally, they wanted to go to the soup kitchen and hand out the items themselves. And they learned, in talking with Julie at the soup kitchen, they learned that, the stigma around homelessness is very, is something that a lot of homeless experience. And so we didn't want to call them out. And so their original plan to have this truck go around and hand out supplies with the confidentiality and everything kind of got scrapped. But they picked up and they figured out a way to at least still impact the people that they wanted to impact and still make a difference. So this is what they came up with. They're going to do this drive. They're reaching out to several businesses in the community to ask for donations as well. So hopefully it'll be very successful.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
This is Steve or Jamie, you guys are up.
Well, I guess I'll go. I mean,
Oh,
huh?
we can't hear you, Jamie. Mm-mm.
I did just a few words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Zoom doesn't work very well at our school with the Wi-Fi.
We can hear you a little bit.
You can put your update in chat if you want to, and then I can, okay. All right, go ahead, Steve.
All right, obviously we are not virtual. We're just business as usual. It's kind of hard for us to be virtual, even though it'd be nice to be virtual. Well, we get calls, we got to go. So, as far as the juveniles, they are still getting arrested, but the ones that are getting arrested is a reoffender. So, been sending them right to court. I've had a couple that we're just basically kind of like not playing phone tag, like the parents just weren't responding at all. So as far as leaving messages and stuff like that. So I guess, I mean, that part is kind of difficult, but as far as interviewing and stuff like that, I'm still doing in person. We just have them come to the lobby at the PD, so just family. And then obviously our JRB's virtual. So, but as far as the PD, we're doing everything that we normally would do. So we really don't have a choice. So we can't do some of the other stuff that our community policing normally does, as far as they do the coffee with the cop and stuff and all that stuff, but they're doing all that stuff virtual. I don't know. Other than that, we're pretty much business as usual. So nothing new really.
We did have a couple JRB kids that during the meeting we had to send them to court. It was difficult to engage them, whether it was virtual or just that they were all set with this process or their parents or whatever. So we did have a couple kids that unfortunately got sent to court because of that.
I had to intervene with one of them. You had sent, there was a juvenile that got 2 referrals, I believe, or maybe 1 after, and he was just not in compliance at all. We had to intervene with him. Well, I had to intervene with the PO with him, but then we were able to finally work it through. But I definitely got the experience of that one.
And I think that kid is doing case management with Justin because he went through the attendance review board as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so just,
Yeah.
all right. So there is someone in the waiting room. I'm not sure if it's Pat, but it's just a phone number. So we've been really warned about Zoom bombers. So I sent a message. I haven't heard back. So I'm not going to let anyone in until I hear.
Friends, I'm going to have to bow out.
Okay, all right, Judith.
Really good to see.
I'll be in touch with you about the meeting, about your term, and then whatever we decide on the motion, to move the meeting to the second or fourth Tuesday of the month. Do you have anything
Okay.
you want to add? Like about
No.
that, or those work? Okay,
No, they're fine with me.
okay, all right, bye, Judith.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
All right, you guys can see Jamie's update in chat. Same issues with Google Meet. Students are tired from being in class all day, hopefully going to a half day to help. And the district is requiring that they do a social emotional screener for all the students. So they definitely anticipate some concerns arising with that with the kids. And we'll be here for you. So, all right, so I don't know if you guys remember, we used to do the Norwich Prevention Council as like a part of this meeting, which when we got the Drug-Free Communities grant, we broke it off because that is part of that grant, is to really have an active monthly coalition meeting that's primarily focused on that. And so originally that meeting was going to be every other month, and we were going to do it opposite the months of the advisory board, but they really were finding that every other month was kind of like stalling some of the progress in the work. So they're meeting monthly. And so and Jody's on the Norwich Prevention Council, I'm on the Norwich Prevention Council. So I wanted to pose a motion that we move our regular meeting, which we had decided at one point we would meet every other month. So it would be every other month, either the second or fourth Tuesday at 9 o'clock. I don't think it doesn't matter for us. So I really just wasn't sure on your schedules and if that works for you all. I guess to do it officially, I would need somebody to second the motion if we are following Robert's rules.
Second.
Thank you. All right, now it's discussion.
So I could do either, just that this year we do not have, so normally if I was coming to a meeting, I would have a sub for my students, and we don't have that opportunity this year. So just know that I may have to like turn my camera off or turn my volume off so that I can take care of student needs, but and might be interrupted, but I can do either.
Okay.
I can do either.
I'm good.
All right. All right. So why don't we I'm just gonna say the second. I think that like also alleviates confusion when there's like 5 weeks in a month, whatever. So just do the second. So we won't need to meet again until March. And we can with what's going on, we can kind of take that as we go basis. Like if it's kind of just updates and we don't have any major business, we can kind of decide every other month because of with COVID. But I think it's nice at least every other month to get together like this and see what we can do to help each other and programs we're all running. And then we can obviously keep in touch in between. So that's all I have. Do you guys have anything else you want to add, or? Thank you for taking the time to come. I know everyone's busy and has probably 15 other Zoom meetings today, so really good to see you.
You too.
All right. All right, have a good day. Hopefully I don't have my
Good day.
baby before March, so, all
Bye.
right, bye.
Yeah.